Here, there, and everywhere you look, it's never too hard to find people pretending to love everything they consume. Welcome back to the Think Tank. My name is John. This is a series where I take something that's been on my mind in the world of music and then I turn it into a video discussion. And before you say it, no, you're not watching the wrong channel, and no, I didn't post this to the wrong channel. This series has moved from my second channel beyond ARTV over to the main. Is discourse truly dead? Have we gotten to that sad, stagnant place where it feels like we can only talk positively about art? It can feel that way, and I don't think that it truly is. But I do think it's also getting harder and harder to talk about music and art at large critically. The easiest way that I can spell out the number one symptom for you, other than just calling it the rise of social media, because that's way too vague, is saying, look at the sea of bullshit spewing out of the blue verified check marks on the Instagram comment section, the Twitter replies, and even YouTube comments with the little check next to it, as everybody pretends to love everything. It's a sea of emojis, fire, praise hands, whatever it might be. We love every move you make. Yes, king. Yes, queen. Whatever you've done, you've just walked on water, unless we happen to uncover some dirt from your past, whereas you're canceled. There's probably a few other conversations that could be had from the statements I just made, but the most important takeaway, what I want to focus on right now, is how those blue check marks, likely other celebrities clout chasing the bigger celebrities, is representative of what fans feel and what fandom culture is shifting towards at this point in time. With this ability to connect with your faves on social media, the immediate response and instant gratification that you can feel if you just so happen to get recognized, that fear of being recognized for anything other than being extremely positive towards them is probably fueling the fact that everybody goes out of their way to praise everything, and it becomes second nature. It's already changed, and I've seen it happen in the past 5 to 10 years. Everything just feels so painfully fake now. Like if I scratched at the wall for a second, the entire house would come tumbling down. It's a symptom of the problem at large, that being, I think, a lot of fandom culture, and if you'd be interested in seeing me explore that, the rise of fandoms and the problems and toxicity that it's created, then let me know in the comments down below. That could be a future episode of the Think Tank. But I've had countless viewers reach out to me via DMs on like Instagram or even in the YouTube comments saying, John, you criticized something that I loved years ago, and I felt really pressured because I was in this fandom and I thought I had to love everything because the way everyone talks, it's kind of like a gang mentality. Like you have to go harass this person that didn't like this, or else we have to go stream this a million times or buy every single copy, or else we're not actually a real fan, even though these are imaginary things that we're creating in our head because we have this slight hope of being recognized by our fave. When they've reached out to me, they've typically said things like, I'm sorry for going out of my way to target you. I was very immature, or else maybe I felt brainwashed at the time. And I try so hard not to blame the individual because it can feel like a horde of zombies just running right at you like a scene out of 28 Days Later. The straw man argument for this big question that I'm bringing up today of why do people pretend to love everything? It would be something along the lines of, well, if they created something, if this artist put something out in the world, someone is bound to like it, which, of course, duh, that is inevitably true. Nothing is ever universally loved or hated. There is always at least one person, if not dozens, if not millions, that either love or hate. But what I'm getting at here is the fake factor, the whole idea of, well, I didn't really know how I felt about it, which I've seen so many fans or stans try to say, but they typically don't even have the courage to put that statement out, which is not critical at all, because they're afraid of being silenced or harassed because we now live in the ratioed culture. If you're a little older like me and you don't know what that means, basically people just put ratio under comments that people put out, and if that one gets more likes or retweets or whatever, then you got ratioed. But no, I've seen people even go to such extreme lengths of saying, well, I had to listen to it like 20 or 30 or 40 times, and then when I looked for the Easter eggs in the music video, and I heard them talking about a couple of the lyrics and what they could possibly mean, and then I put the clues together, then I really started to think I like it a little bit more. And yeah, there are songs and albums or EPs that can definitely grow on you and should, because you should absolutely not just form an opinion after hearing something one or sometimes even two or three times. But also, you should not have to feel like, well, I got to the point where I heard it so much that it's in my head, so I guess that means I like it, because that's some sort of fucked up, skewed logic that doesn't really make sense. You've twisted your hand in the hopes, again, of pleasing your fave, but it's like the claw machine. You put it down so many times with that twisted hand, but you pull back up on that 1 in a million chance that you're actually gonna get it. Of course, context matters, and if there are lyrics or something else that you maybe need to understand about this music that you're listening to, then it's great to have that understanding. But sometimes, and in fact, many times in your life, there will be things that you hear, explore, look into on a molecular level, and you still maybe just don't fully feel it. And that doesn't mean you have to hate it. It might just feel indifferent to you, or maybe mediocre. How dead is art if we feel that we can only say positive things about something that's created, instead of maybe providing a negative thought or opinion or something that you took away from it, or even constructive criticism without the fear of being bullied into submission? I think that this is affecting the artists themselves, because so many people have put out stuff that maybe feels a little bit lackluster. And of course, it's all personal opinion. There's going to be people that genuinely do love something, and I have no problem with that. But personal examples for myself, not saying that you have to agree with me, I've seen some negative stuff from Ariana Grande that's subpar. Muse put out an album, Simulation Theory, that I still am not keen on to this day. 21 Pilots, and even my favorite band, Green Day, put out an album in 2020 that I just didn't think was all that good. It was pretty average, and it was hard not to feel that bias, but I also had to unleash the truth. And for that, I've been on the receiving end of hate way many more times than I can count on all of my hands, all of my toes, everything. There is nothing like that can actually tally it up. I see it so much in various fandoms, especially in the world of pop music, where we've got all of these superstars, whether that be Taylor Swift or Dua Lipa, Ariana Grande, as I mentioned. And then hip hop, I feel like there's a lot of pressure there to find enjoyment in every single bar and call everything fire, and every beat is just incredible. And even an artist like Denzel Curry that I absolutely love, there was a song like Bad Luck that comes out, I think it's kind of whack, and I think a lot of people were teetering on that too, but they just won't outright say what they're feeling. We shouldn't normally go into music wanting to find a ton of problems, but it would also make sense that if we're not doing that, then why should we walk in, even if it is one of our faves, with the preset of, well, I'm going to love this no matter what, reality be damned, nothing else matters, it's my fave, so I love it. I think the rise of fandom culture is obviously a major culprit here. It's one of the biggest reasons we can point to and blame, with the rise of this cult-like mindset of, hey, fall in line with everything that we say, we love everything that this artist or this group does, and if you don't do that, then GTFO. I have to wonder how much inner turmoil that causes people, and if you've ever been a part of a fandom before, just a huge fan of a band, and you did negatively have that feeling somewhere inside of you, and you were too scared to put it out there, and maybe years later, or even a year later, you're looking back and saying, why did I feel that way? I'm glad I moved away. Or maybe you're still in the fandom, but you've realized that it's okay to have feelings on both sides of the fence, that nobody is invincible, nobody is superhuman, that everybody has flaws and puts out songs that you either love or maybe feel a bit indifferent on. I would love to know your perspective, because of course, these are just my 2 cents, and my opinion is really no more valuable than anybody else's. Stop fighting battles for adults that can take care of themselves. It's not that deep. They don't need your backup, and if they did, then, well, that's kinda on them. And that's also a little weird if they're asking for a 12-year-old army to come at their defense at any given time. But anyways, guys, let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Don't forget to drop a like on this video. Any takeaways that you had on my thoughts, or anything that you'd like to add. If you have other suggestions for this series, The Think Tank, then I'm all ears. Outside of that, a couple of recent videos on screen now. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'm back soon with more on ARTV.